Talking a lot about Shohei Ohtani, the hitter. Let's dive into Shohei Ohtani, the ace of the staff pitcher. No better time than for Showtime here tonight as the Halos want to get their first home series win of June before they hit the road. And that first series on the road is against those Houston Astros. So, Langer, I'm going to start with you when it comes to Showtime. He's gone through dominant stretches, but one earned run over his last 21 innings. He's won his last 3 starts. He's been virtually unhittable as of late.
He sure has. And with Shohei, everything starts with fastball command, and he's a guy that can control the strike zone. And when you see the strikeouts, we saw career high in strikeouts last performance against the Royals. 13 strikeouts. When you see the heavy strikeouts, then you know the slider and the split is on point. And that last start, his slider was as good as it can get. We saw that earlier in the year when he had a start against the Astros when he struck out 12. And that big sweeping slider was prominent in that start, and as it was in that last start. But the split follows it. To me, everything is always set up by that fastball. When you show 97 to 99 or 100 miles an hour, as a hitter, GA, you can speak on it. Yeah. You have to think about that in your back of your mind because you know that the split and the slider are going to be coming right behind it.
Yeah, and what I also just want to kind of piggyback on what you're talking about is that the last 3 starts, he's pitched different. Like, it's got to be hard to scout this guy. He doesn't fall into any particular patterns, and he pretty much is looking for what's going to work that night, and then he goes with it. So it's really hard to scout this guy, other than, he's got an above-average fastball.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. You kind of took the words out of my mouth because is there a comparable at all, GA, a guy that you face at all that could start with one set of pitches and maybe a sequence and completely change it throughout the course of the game?
I've never faced a guy like that, but I have faced a guy in Roger Clemens who beat us 2 different ways in back-to-back starts. He pitched us one way here and one way in Boston and beat us different ways.
I've always talked about Shohei definitely has to be one of the toughest guys to game plan against, just from the standpoint, we don't know. We have no clue what Shohei's going to feature tonight. Is it going to be the power fastball? We've seen games where he just goes right to that power fastball. If he feels good and that fastball's there, you might just see him go one after another. The White Sox are a real good fastball hitting team, so I don't know if that'll be the case. He will show them that fastball, but that slider, again, when it's on point, it's a swing and miss slider. No matter if they even see it and can identify it, by the time they react to it, it's already swept off that outside part of the plate. And we all know when that splitter is on, when it is right down the middle of the plate and it starts just above the knees and you think you can get to it, by the time you attack it, that thing is no longer in that zone. It's out of the zone. You're right. He is dominant. And he's an ace in every particular way you want to carve it up. And when he gets it done, and certainly we've seen it in this homestand, Shohei's performance, and you mentioned his last 3 starts, how powerful he's been.
You mentioned homestand. Let's look at Shohei's starts at home. GA, I imagine as a hitter, you like the batter's eye, you get used to it in particular ballparks. Langer, you get used to the mound, you get used to the comfort level here. I mean, look at the numbers here that he has. He's right behind Nolan Ryan when it comes to lowest home ERA in the first 25 starts at the Big A.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You will find comfort in your home mound, and that's the one you want to be dominant on because you're going to get more starts more than likely in your home mound. When I first came up in Seattle, I liked pitching in the Kingdom. That's not a pitcher's ballpark.
No, it's
a
not.
Very hitter-friendly ballpark, but the optics were good for me. It felt like home plate was right in front of me. So something about Shohei, he clicks here. His hiccup starts seem to be all on the road, but here at the Big A, boy, he really is out to perform for this crowd.